recap of the Bears, very tough. Down to the final play of the game, 42-38 loss to the Niners in Santa Clara, California on Sunday Night Football. I'm David Kaplan. It's brought to you by our great partners at the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. They are the official truck partners of the Chicago Bears. Folks, right down to the final play and under heavy duress, Caleb Williams skipped it into Jahdae Walker, probably 2 yards, yard and a half short of his target. And that is how the ball game ends as the clock hits 0. The touchdown would have won the football game. He took him down the field. They made a lot of big plays, but in the end, they came up just a little short. I've got a ton of takeaways, and I would love your thoughts right here on our channel as the Bears fall to 11-5, and they are locked in to either the 2 or the 3 seed in the NFC because they are the NFC North champions. Let's get into all my takeaways. It's also brought to you by our great partners at Tasty Trade. They've got a 1% cash match on all qualified deposits through the 31st of December. It's called their Money Match event. They'll also give you 30 days of commission-free trading. tastytrade.com/moneymatch. All right, I've got a ton of takeaways. And again, I want your thoughts. Tell me what you're thinking. I know the defense wasn't good. That San Francisco team has an elite play caller. The Chicago Bears have an elite play caller, and there was history made tonight. We'll get to that in a minute. It was a hell of a ball game. Just didn't get enough stops, and in the end, the Bears kicked the field goal. The Niners didn't have to. Ball game. San Francisco wins. First of all, Christian McCaffrey is insane. He is ridiculously good. So I'm going to give the apt players of the game. I could go so many ways. You could put Luther Burden in the discussion, and he got injured at the end on the last play, and the cart came out to get him. Sounds like a hamstring. We'll find out more tomorrow. But I'm going to give it to McCaffrey and Caleb Williams, but you could give it to Purdy. You could give it to Luther Burden. Either way, it was a hell of a game. I'm going to give it the apt player of the game, ABT.com, McCaffrey and Caleb Williams. Now, Christian McCaffrey ran like a dog tonight. I mean, he was awesome. He was phenomenal. 49ers ran for 200 yards. They ran it right at the Bears, and the Bears just couldn't do anything to slow that run game down. And when they tried to stack the box, the Niners were able to make plays in the passing game. And I thought Brock Purdy was really good. Tonjes, who was in for the injured George Kittle, who did not play. Tonjes was a beast. He was really good. He had, I think, 60 yards in receiving. He's a backup. He stepped up, next man up, and he did his job. But, folks, there were so many takeaways from this. Caleb is that guy. Can you finally understand now that we have a guy? We have one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League. He's outstanding. He's got an insane arm. The play where he knew it was a free play and he hit Colston Loveland with a dart for a touchdown, that's an Aaron Rodgers kind of play. They said that on the broadcast as well. Before they said it, I said to my wife, I go, hey, Mindy, that's what Aaron Rodgers does. He knows he's got a free play. He gets out of the pocket, boom, and hits Colston Loveland for a big touchdown. But in the end, it was just not quite enough. But this Bears team, they can play anywhere against anyone. You hear me? Anybody, anywhere, they can play against them. They're legit. They are a really, really good football team. Are they a great team? No. They don't get to the quarterback enough. They're going to have to address that in the offseason. But offensively, that team is a beast. Nobody wants to face this team in the playoffs. And if you can find a way to beat Detroit next week and make sure you've got at least one game at home, guess what? Nobody's going to want to come through Chicago and play the Chicago Bears. In the Bears Stadium with the elements of Chicago, no, they're not going to want to play them. Bears are legit. I talked about Caleb. It was a touchdown night. The Bears had one possession that they had to settle for the field goal that put them up 38-35, and then our Chevy drive of the game was the ball game. Chevy drive of the game 7 plays, 75 yards, took 307. Brock Purdy to Jawan Jennings for a 38-yard touchdown. That put them up 42-38. And there's your ball game. Bears couldn't get it, that final score, to try and win this thing. The game-winning touchdown also is our Dr. Pepper play of the game. Folks, listen to me. I know you're frustrated by the defense's performance tonight. That's also the same Niners team that last week against a pretty solid Indianapolis Colts defense, Purdy had 5 touchdowns. They're a very good offensive team. It was one of those nights where neither team could stop the other until the last play in the end of the game when they got pressure on Caleb and he was unable to hit Jahdae Walker. They tried the hook and ladder late. Swift got it inside the 5-yard line. I think they thought in practice that's a touchdown. But give credit to the San Francisco defensive back who read it, reacted, and was able to get Swift on the ground with some help short of the goal line, which would have been the game-winning touchdown. Let's go inside the numbers, because here's where I really want to talk. It's our sinus and snoring inside the numbers. And by the way, do you snore? Because this guy used to. And my wife said, "Hun, I love you, but I can't sleep next to you if you're going to keep snoring." We have friends. Their daughter works at Sinus and Snoring, and guess what? She said, "You need to go see them." I did. The doctor looked at me. He worked with me. It took one day. In and out. And guess what? I don't snore anymore. They're the best. SinusandSnoringMD.com. Niners, 496 yards of total offense. And you're thinking, that's horrible. It is. But guess what? The Bears, 440 yards. But San Francisco able to establish the run better. The Bears were north of 100. San Francisco ran for 200, and they were 7 of 10 on third down. There's your ball game right there. When Brock Purdy had to come up with a big play on third down, he was able to do it. And again, it goes back to one possession. The Bears had to kick a field goal. And your defense couldn't make a stop. So they got to go back to the drawing board, because you may see that team again in the playoffs. Never know. We'll find out where this thing is headed, because if they beat Seattle next week, they're the division champ. So maybe there's a chance you see them again if you win your first game. It's going to be interesting. Again, my takeaways are that's a great offensive team they have. That's an elite offensive team the Chicago Bears have. And let's not forget, you had a bunch of guys that flew on separate planes because they were sick as dogs. Darnell Wright, DJ Moore was sick. Olamide Zaccheaus couldn't even play tonight. He was inactive because he was sick as a dog. And then, as I said, Luther Burden, the cart came out to get him to take him back to the locker room. The early report is it's a hamstring. That's not good, because that dude, 138 yards tonight, he is a beast. That guy's going to be an absolutely superstar player for the Chicago Bears. But in the end, there was a bad penalty by Gervon Dexter on the game-winning drive. I'm not sure it would have changed anything, because they kept ringing it up on third down. But in the end, you lose a tough ball game, 42-38. Bears fall to 11-5. Tuesday night, Tommy Waddle, Alex Brown, and I with our Studio 41 Football Recap Live show will talk about this, look ahead to the Lions game, and start thinking about where you may be playing, who you may be playing at home in the playoffs. Bears lose 42-38. I'll see you at 6 a.m. on the Cap and J Hood Show. Don't forget Coffee with Cap in the morning and a full day of programming tomorrow through our Bulls recap. Appreciate you greatly. Hell of a ball game. We've got a dude at quarterback, and we've got a really good football team. Take that.